welcome to the awakened warrior. Oh, I got rid of my sign. We're just going to say it. We're just going to say welcome to the show. So this video is about how white people need to wake up. And what am I talking about here? What I'm talking about is that there are many white people out there, you know who you are, who fight for black causes. And this I'm referring to is the recent situation having to do with the Zimmerman and Trayvon incidents. And what happened there, just really briefly, is that, you know, we have a system here that people are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But unfortunately, the president came out, the media came out, these black activists came out, and everybody painted this picture for us to all see George Zimmerman as guilty. Right? This is before he went to trial. And then what happened was when he went to trial, all the evidence showed to him being not guilty. But the point here is that there were plenty of white people along the way who were not following this trial, who are still out there like fighting for Trayvon or fighting for black people and how racism still exists, and maybe even walking in these protests or this hoodie walk or whatever. And again, we're talking generally, but again, this is what I learned very loud and clear, and this is why one of the reasons on why it bothered me so much, because I have always been very open and very pro-black, if we want to say something like that. A lot of people in the black community were not listening to both sides of the story and just going for that anti-white side. The feeling is, the thought is that when it comes down to it, a lot of black people just don't give a shit about you. And I don't know why you're wasting so much energy on these like black issues. And maybe you're not spending so much energy, but there have been a lot of white people supporting, let's say, Trayvon in this Zimmerman-Trayvon incident, when the truth was, this kid was ghetto trash or black trash. This kid was ghetto trash or black trash.
Was ghetto trash or black trash.
To use my new term from my video, this kid was from the ghetto, and he followed ghetto philosophies. And that's why he attacked Zimmerman, because really, I think when it came down to it, Trayvon was anti-white. And he had a racist thing going. And again, that's another thing that we saw with, well, again, that I noticed, and I'm sure a lot of you guys also noticed, on how many black people are anti-white out there. No white activists. These black people don't give a fuck about you. That's the conclusion that I've come to. As a whole, black people are concerned with their issues. And if we have sucker whites that go and fight for black issues, that's what you are. You're a sucker. Because if it's a time that you need something, or your white people need somebody, and yes, you should be protective over the white people these days. There should be some, I would say, some loyalty, and black people have a hardcore loyalty towards one another. They're loud, they're loyal, and there's no reasoning with a lot of people in the black community. Again, we saw this through the Zimmerman trial, when you should just join Team White. You should just join Team White. And, oh, warriors, unite!
Ghetto. A quarter of a city in which Jews were formerly required to live. A quarter of the city in which members of minority groups live, especially because of social, legal, and economic pressure. An isolated group.
You see, so Karen don't miss a beat. These racist cave people are ruthless when it comes to you so-called blacks, Mexican, and Native Americans. They ruthless when it comes to us. They're ruthless. They do not care. And you see how she said Trayvon was nothing but ghetto trash? Ghetto trash. Really? Really? But one thing y'all might not know about the true meaning of ghetto, check this out. So ghetto just simply means a place where the Jews lived, where they dwelt. And ain't that what y'all do to us? Y'all put us in the hood, in the trenches, at the bottom, the worst place all over the entire world. Anywhere in the world you go, you will find the so-called blacks in the hoods, in the ghettos, because we the true Jews. So you just help prove a point how we are the children of the Most High. And I'm not excluding so-called Mexicans or Native Americans or the Israelites in Africa. I'm not excluding you either. But my point is, you're gonna find the Jews in the ghetto scattered all over the entire world. That's us. So let's not get it mistaken or forget who we are amongst. Let's always remember that we are amongst our enemies, y'all. We can never fall asleep on that. The three holy children, verse 9, it say, and thou didst deliver us in the hands of the lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of God, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. So we got to understand, this is who we've been delivered to. These people hate us with a passion, perpetual hatred that they will never be able to get over. Okay. So we have to separate from our enemies. We can't dwell together with our enemies. We must separate, be holy, which is separate from this world, and live for the Most High by keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. This is Proverbs 11 and verse 21. It says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So we have to separate from our enemies. The vengeance of the Lord is coming down on these heathens, on these nations. Separate from these people, separate from these heathens, these other nations, and return back to your God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We almost out of here. Shalom.